Tackle Junkies, what's going on, everyone? Really appreciate you guys and gals for clicking on the video. Back with part 2, 2020 Crestliner XF 189. We're going to talk about really the layout, what's in the compartments, what I like and don't like. If you haven't seen part 1, definitely check that out. I'm going to touch a little bit more on how stable this boat is in the beginning here. You guys did ask more about that in the last video. And to be honest with you, my wife made a good point here before we got going. What this boat really reminds us of is kind of like a fiberglass boat, but it's aluminum. I mean, it's very wide, stable, just has a great layout, okay? And when I was picking boats, it was down to this boat and the Ranger, okay? And really, this boat just had the better layout. There's things I would change, which I'm going to tell you guys, but this still had the better layout, and it was every bit as wide as the Ranger. It's kind of funny, even to this day when we go into Bass Pro, and I know like the 175, the boat I had before, obviously it's a smaller boat than this, but they're so much more narrow. Even like the 190, I think, isn't there like a 180 something, 185 or
195?
There's a 190, 195. I thought there was one in the middle. Either way, even the biggest one, this boat here is still, this has a much, I don't know the measurements. I think this one has an 89-inch beam, I think. I don't know what they are on the trackers, but this one just has like a much wider presence compared to the other ones. I mean, the tracker, the 175, you could put in this boat and then walk around it and still be on this deck. I mean, that's really how wide this deck is. But super stable while you're fishing. Even if you have a couple guys on the end here, the boat really doesn't rock much. I mean, it doesn't really move much, doesn't tip too much one way to the other. I mean, it's just a super stable platform. I couldn't ask for a better boat. Absolutely love it as far as that goes, okay? Let's go ahead and start with the back deck, work our way forward. We'll open the compartments, talk about them, and just kind of go from there. Okay, now I did show you guys the battery box in the first video. I'll go ahead and show you again. You can see here that there is plenty of room in here. I don't remember how big this gas tank is.
20? I'm probably wrong.
You know, I think it's 26.
Is it 26? I know it's a good sized tank.
Yeah, I don't know how big it is, but it's a big gas tank. I really only fill it up, gosh, 2-3 times a year. I mean, again, like I told you guys, I don't fish big lakes, but I don't fill it up much. It holds a lot of gas. 3 batteries back here. I'm running the Dakota lithium. These are the 12 volt. It's a deep cycle and a starting battery. Got 3 of them in here, okay? And I want to say these are more like, if you're going to compare it as far as size goes, these are probably more along the lines of like a size 24. And they're like a 24, 27, 29, 31. I want to say these are more along the lines of the smallest battery. So you can see with those 3 in here, if I wanted to, I could totally run power pole pumps back here. I think now power pole's got the 1 pump system, but there's more than enough room for this size battery and power pole pumps. But it's definitely not near as crowded back here as it was in my Bass Tracker. Again, I know we're talking about 2 different size boats, but that's the only other boat I've had, and this was something that I was looking at when I was picking a new boat. I wanted some room back here, and like I said, this one here has more than enough for a few batteries and pumps. Now, Lewis did say that I did say this in my last video. They did say that there was no room for power pole pumps when I bought this boat, but at that time they had, I want to say they were size 27 or 29 size batteries in here. That's a big benefit going to the lithiums. You know, these are much smaller and, you know, basically twice the power. So running these batteries, again, plenty of room for pumps if you wanted to go that route. I want to take a minute and tell you guys about a feature on the Deep Dive app. It's very useful, very relevant right now with all the rain that we've been getting. Guys, I'm going to link Deep Dive down below. Definitely check them out, but click on the app, type in your favorite body of water, go down to water inflows. This feature is going to show you where the fresh water is coming into the lake after a good rain. Now, this particular body of water doesn't have a bunch of major creeks that feeds it, but this feature will still show me where most of the fresh water is coming into the lake, okay? The bass, they already know where those areas are. They're attracted to that fresh water. And now you know where it's at as well with the Deep Dive app. I like the little color chart on the bottom as well. So at a quick glance, you can quickly identify the better areas, okay? So as we scroll through the lake here, You can see a couple right here. Decent amount of fresh water coming into these areas. So if you're on the body of water, having a rough day, if you've never been to this lake before, these areas here are a great place to start. No doubt there's more bass in fresh water, and now you know where those areas are with a deep dive app. Guys, check them out, linked down below. So let's start with the storage compartments on the back deck. There's two, one behind each seat, fairly big. This one here is mainly just kind of like a live well stuff, scales, you know, things like that. Obviously, there's more room to put, you know, other things in there. We keep a few scales, you know, the buzzer rocks, another scale, clip-in call, gripper, you know, things like that in there. Some G-juice. But you can see there's plenty of room for other things in there. Decent size, but that's what we keep in here. Okay, live well. You can see there, nice dirty water. But obviously I have the divider in. It is big enough if you want to use the divider, have a big side, call side if you're fishing tournaments or whatever. Again, I don't know the exact size of it, but it's plenty big for, you know, fishing tournaments or whatever you would need. Okay, same size compartment on this side here. This is just really a hodgepodge of stuff. I mean, a little bit of everything in here. Fish monkey gloves, a bunch of tools, battery testers, paperwork, air horns, socket sets, screwdriver sets, extra remotes, buffs, prop wrench. So a little bit of everything in here, but you know, pretty decent sized compartment, just like on the other side, same size. Really my only complaint back here is I wish these had locks. I mean, locks really can't be that expensive. If you have storage, it should be lockable storage. So not a huge deal, but they should have had locks on these compartments here. Okay, center compartment. One thing that always happens, these cup holders, they blow out, okay? So what I did was take a couple washers, piece of paracord there, and I basically tied them together, okay, so they cannot blow out. It's a little trick if you're having that issue there. The center console, nice, plenty of storage in there, okay? Obviously keep my Wiley X sunglasses, some extra hooks, spare hook box there. Gotta have a little boat snack, Ritz crackers, but you can see there's plenty of room in here. So of course you can put your wallet, phone, whatever. That's just what I keep in mind at the moment. Now I will say, you can see here that this lid is attached with rivets, and the lid's already come off. So I don't know if you can see in here or not, babe. Can you see in here? So I bolted it on. I drilled out the rivets and I bolted it on, so now it's not going to come off. I'm sure eventually I'll have to drill out these rivets and bolt the hinge to the face here. But yeah, so just a quick fix. If you're having that issue, just drill them out and bolt them on, okay? But anyways, good size compartment there. Okay, as far as storage goes, under the seats, good amount of storage here. And this is one thing that I was worried about. If I would have done that recall that I talked about in the last video, I believe you do lose the storage under these seats. And I keep too much stuff under here to lose the storage, okay? I'm not going to take everything out, but you'll get an idea of what's under here, okay? So just a container here full of tools, Cuda tools, Mustad tools, KVD line and lure, I mean, all sorts of stuff in here, okay? Behind here, which you guys can't see, got a bunch of lure retriever stuff, box of JJ's Magic, scent dye, things like that. Underneath here, this is like, what we got? First aid kit under here. There's paddles. That's the dock rope. Other ropes under here as well. Paddles. Like I said, I'm not going to pull it all out. There's some more rope. But plenty of storage underneath here because this is all open from here all the way to this seat here. Under this seat, same deal. Another container here. This is kind of like just recording type stuff, wires, chesties, different mounts. There's the paddles that I was talking about before, a couple paddles, battery box, another paddle there. So you can see you can store a lot of things underneath these seats. I have no idea really the newer models if they needed that flotation, if they no longer have storage underneath here in like the 25 or 26s, I have no idea. But like I said, I didn't want to do that recall and lose all the storage because I store a lot of things under there. So that was a big deal for me. I tell you what, probably when I was buying the boat, if this wouldn't have had under seat storage, I mean, that might have been a deal breaker. Just because, I mean, I want as much storage as possible. So the cockpit area. So my wife's sitting right next to me here. You can see I'm right here. I'm not a huge dude. What, 5'11", 230, something like that. So I'm more than comfortable sitting here. Plenty of room for coolers. Most of the time she brings bags of beach towels and everything else that she doesn't need.
You gotta float while he fishes.
Yeah, float. If you guys haven't seen that, maybe I'll put a little picture on the screen for you guys. When she comes, I usually have to drag her around while I fish, and she's floating behind the boat. That's for another video.
I'm bringing in the fish.
Yeah, but plenty of room here in the cockpit. Like I said in one of my older videos, it would have been nice if there was like a little step here with a cooler, which I do believe they did that in the newest model. So that is pretty cool. All right, console here, fiberglass, super nice, zero issues. Tilt steering wheel, okay. Boat Effects graph mounts attached to it. I did mention these mounts in my last video. My code has changed over there. It was TJ10. It's now TJ81 for 10% off. I'll have that link down below. Pop it on the screen for you guys as well. But I do believe all my discount codes now are TJ81. So definitely check them out. But guys, these are a super solid, you know, just a well-built mount from Boat Effects. They do send you a piece of aluminum to mount to. I took off the piece of plastic that was on here, sent it to them. They sent me back a replica of that in aluminum. So if you guys want that for your boat, they should have that on file. But just a super nice mount here, and the theft protection that you get with these mounts are awesome, okay? So it does come on a track system, so you can raise it up or lower it. This section here will tilt out as well, and you can see there's locks on the tilt here. The gimbals themselves have security screws. There's locks on the gimbals. I mean, it's locked down, ain't going nowhere. And it is super nice. You guys have to check them out for sure. You can get them in multiple different colors to match your rig, but just an awesome company, makes an awesome product, awesome customer service. You guys have to check them out. If you're looking for graph mounts or even the steps, I got videos on the steps as well. Awesome company, man. Definitely check them out.
Made in the USA.
Made in America, man. Made in America. You can see I also have these are their cover traps on there, so your covers can't blow off going down the road. Got one up here, one up front there as well. I'll show you guys that one again when we go up there. But just a cool place for sure. But yeah, loving the console though. Got a horn on here, you know, bilge, nav lights, you know, just the basic stuff, nothing fancy. We do have lights. I'm not sure it's dark enough yet. There's lights on the deck and in the compartments, so that's nice as well. Right here, got a USB charger that did not come on the boat. It was a must for me to charge cameras, so I had that added, but that should be like on all boats, okay? Charge your cell phone or whatever. But really no issues at all here. Okay, so we covered the back, we covered the center area. Did we forget anything back there? Guys, if we did forget something, let me know. I'll cover that in another video. Now we're talking about the front deck. And you can see here, I mean, it's plenty wide, so you can easily fish up here, okay? We have rod storage in the center and then tackle storage on either side. Me personally, I would have rather had my tackle in the center and rod storage on either side. Obviously, you could put rods on one side and still tackle on the other. But I think it would have made more sense and really balanced the boat out better if your weight was in the center, okay? Me, you know, I pack a lot of tackle in here, so I got to play with it a little bit to make the boat ride pretty level. Again, like I said in the last video, I'm not really all that concerned about it, but it would have been easier, though, if the storage would have been in the center of the boat and rods on the side. But this is what they did, so it is what it is. But the compartments themselves still are huge. But here's where I start to not like them as much, okay? So you can see here, storage. Holds a lot of tackle, okay? All my Plano tackle boxes in here. I don't have them labeled yet. I'm gonna work on that, but I'm going to get a bunch more of the new stowaways. I'm going to change things up a bit. So that's really why I haven't organized them yet, just because I have a different game plan for that, okay? Which you'll see in another video, I'm sure. But one issue here, okay, and we'll do a little shot of this, but basically this compartment goes all the way back to here, okay? But you can see here that there is deck. So if I put boxes back here, I got to take out half a dozen boxes to even get to them. So that was a, you know, bad design flaw right there, okay? So I keep a container in here and I just throw, you know, baits I want to try or whatever, but something that's shallow that I can get my hand in here and get all this stuff, because if it was boxes, again, I couldn't get them out. So that was, yeah, not very smart there. And you'll notice too how obviously the boat tapers up, so this box tapers up as well. So I got to watch what I hang on here, because there's times where lures on here will hit the lids of the tackle boxes and my lid don't close. So I just felt that could have been, you know, done a little bit differently. And I think they actually did take my advice on this, because I want to say it was the one that came out the year before. They did open this up and extended the lid. So now when you open it up, you can get to these back boxes. So if you guys like that, you can thank me for that, because a lot of this stuff, I did go to Crestliner and say, hey, you guys got some issues here. And they did fix some of the stuff that I talked about. But that was a huge flaw right there, that you can't get to your boxes. I mean, you could store so many more boxes in here, you know, if this lid went all the way back here and this was cut out. But like I said, I think they did fix that in a newer model. So, but that's one issue with this year, the 2020. But other than that, really no other issues in here, okay? Up here I got, I don't even think they make these anymore. I can't even remember the name. I think these are called Groove, maybe Groove launch pads. I wish they still made these. I do look for them from time to time. I'm assuming they're out of business, but I keep all my mustad hooks all staged here. Really, I don't have them all up here, but these are the ones that I would use the most. I got 2-aughts, 3-aughts, 4-aughts, all different styles there. So if I'm on a bite, need a hook real fast, I can just grab one if I broke off or whatever the case may be. But I got a discount code for Mustad, which I'll link down below, put a little code on the screen for you guys as well. TJ81, I think it's 20% off over there, I think.
I think so.
Okay, so a little discount code for you guys. But yeah, keep all my Mustad hooks right there, ready to go. But if you guys truly want like a tackle tour of what's in every box, we can do that during the winter time when the bite's really slow for me. You guys can see what baits have made it throughout the years. But yeah, let me know down below if you guys want to see a tackle tour of what's in every box. But that's really all we got here as far as issues go. Like I said, I did hang the Cook's Go-To tackle system on here, but with these lids, or the box itself not being as deep all the way through, I was having some issues with baits falling off there. So anyways, that's that. And these are lockable. Copters. Trying to see what's in my boat. Trying to see before the video drops. All right, so this is rod storage. Like I said earlier, I do have the lights in here. Maybe it'll show up. See it? So it does have the lights in here, and nice big rod box. Real fast, we got what, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, maybe 16, 18 rods in there. I could easily fit probably another dozen in there. So rod box is plenty big. I do believe this should go up much higher. I don't like how this stops this low here, but nice big rod box for sure. But I just think this would have worked out so much better if this was storage for your tackle, and like I said, rods on either side. It would just balance the boat out more, and to me it just makes more sense. But I did mention before too, you know, a lot of the seals are all torn. You know, they didn't last long at all. It's been like this for a long time, which is a quick fix, not a huge deal. But yeah, so that's the rod box there. Plenty big, and I'm really happy with the size of that.
Does it go up any more on the new boat?
I don't know. That's something that I complain about, because I actually think even when I got it, like it was like here.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't know if we put on different.
I think they did.
Did they do that? There was something that was changed.
Yeah.
But even this is not high enough. This should go way up here, I would think. So, but yeah, I want to say it was something like this when we first got it. Like, that's stupid, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should go up. way up there. Anyways, really happy though with the size of the rod box. One little complaint you can see here, this is a CUDA, it's like a suction cup tool holder, okay, that just obviously sticks right to the fiberglass console. There's many spots in here where they could have put, you know, little tool holders in the floor. Like right here is a perfect spot right here. They just could have put holes in here, put a plate on top, perfect for tools. Ranger had that. You know, I did compare these boats back and forth, and there was a lot of little nicety things that Ranger had. But again, overall, this had the better layout. But I wish it did have tool holders in the floor. Not a deal breaker. This works here, but that would have been nice. Okay, one other issue that I have with the deck. Not a huge deal, but it's a simple fix that they should have caught in the beginning, okay? When you have your rods and reels laying on the deck and you're trying to get into the compartments for tackle, you know, if you have a bunch of rods and reels on here, there's not really any room from the back of the lid to the, what do you call this?
Side of the boat.
Side of the boat or the gunnel, whatever. There's not a lot of room from here to have a bunch of rods and reels laying there. So usually when I'm fishing by myself, I usually lay them along the seat up there so I have the whole deck open so I can get in here real fast and get some tackle. Because if you have more than a couple up here, you know, the lid ain't staying open or things are getting smashed or whatever. So they should have put like an angle here on this lid to give you more room for the, you know, the reels and the butt section of the rods. But not a huge deal, but that should have been a simple fix. They should have had me on staff designing the boat, because there was a few flaws in this setup. But still, out of all the ones that I looked at, this was still the, you know, the best rig for sure. I mean, unless you're building it yourself, you're not going to get exactly what you want. You have to get what's close to what you want. And this boat, for me, was about as close as it was going to get as far as my needs go, you know. So over here, compartment, same size. You want to come up here?
Yep.
Same size as that one over there. This one here, mainly soft plastics, spinner baits. Maybe you can just give a little look in there.
See the goodies.
You know, some hard baits are over here, treble hooks. These are all my swim baits. Okay. We got some grubs and chatterbait trailers, battle box, some power bait, a bunch of yum, bunch of spinner baits, throw cushion, buzz bait trailers, bunch of Crush City stuff, 2 big boxes of those, some Strike King in there. So I've kind of changed things up a little bit. I mean, I'm not really that organized with my soft plastics, but I mean, soft plastics weigh a ton, and I used to like try and bring all of them with me. And now I just try to like grab what I think I'm gonna throw, right? That way I'm always changing it out, trying new things, or, you know, things like that. So, you know, I'll just go home whenever, and yeah, I wanna try 10-inch worms or straight tails or whatever. I'll just pack some of that stuff. Next time I go, if I wanna try something different, you know, obviously some stuff always lives in here, but I try to not pack it completely full with plastic so I can always swap out, you know, new things. I do the same with spinner baits. You know, I got 4 boxes of spinner baits in there. I got another 4 or 5 at home, and I'm always swapping them out, changing different brands and trying new things and things like that. But I found if I have it packed, you know, full of plastics, half the time I forget to try my new stuff because I know I got stuff in here. So not having it fully packed with baits forces me kind of to try new things. So
when he's not crankbait fishing.
True. True. Which I did today, caught a few. But I was also throwing jigs today in plastics and didn't catch any on them. The crankbait caught a few fish. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing here. I haven't really settled on, you know, a soft plastic, you know, storage solution yet. I got a few other things I want to try before I load everything up in, you know, one style. You can see here I got, you know, 4 or 5 different things going here. But I just like trying new things, giving you guys more ideas, and just kind of, you know, going from there. But anyways, this is kind of a work in progress on this side here, but still a huge storage box. Love it. Okay. If I didn't say these all lock here. But I mean, what else can you really say about the deck? I mean, it's plenty wide, plenty stable, tons of storage. You know, I did nitpick it here and there, but overall, man, it's an awesome boat, and I would buy it again tomorrow. Okay. So up here, I think we already talked about the strap in the last video. I got a video on this as well. If you guys want to check that out, I'll link it down below. We talked about little bounce buster deal, whatever you call that, the little pad down there for the kickstand. We talked about that in the last video. The Boat Effects mount, got to mention that again. I don't believe I got the recessed trolling motor pedal here.
Let me come up here. Okay.
Good.
Yep.
I don't believe, was this standard? I thought you could have it with or without.
I think it was standard. That was
standard?
one thing that you liked about it.
Okay, because I thought you could have it either way.
Because you had to cut it out, didn't you, in the tracker?
I did, yeah. Tracker, which I got a video on that if you want to do that. I'll link that video down below as well. Oh, yeah, maybe it was. Maybe this was a standard deal here.
Because that was something I think that you really liked about it.
Yeah. So anyways, recessed trolling motor pedal. Got the cool foot pad on here. You can see here another Boat Effects graph mount like we mentioned in the last video. Guys, these things are super nice. I'm telling you, if you need a graph mount, you got to check these things out. You know, locks all throughout the graph mount. Just super nice, man. Just super nice. You can see here the feet are locked down. So from the base to the riser here, there's a lock. You know, the gimbals have security screws. You got locks on the gimbals. I mean, this thing ain't going nowhere. Again, super solid. I just love it, you know, and I love you can choose different colors to match your rig or whatever you need to do there. But just a nice graph mount. You can see here off to the side, this is the what do they call that? It's the tool trap. So you can get different color paracord on there. I got the blue, and it just mounts underneath here. It just bolts on. 3 holes there for tools. But just a super nice setup. Well made. Like I said earlier, well made. Great customer service. Some good dudes over there. Check them out if you need a graph mount.
Made in the USA.
Again, made in America. Made in America. That's a big deal. So guys, that should be it. Of course, we got the Talon foot pedal down there. Want to stand up, boo?
Yep.
I believe we covered it. Back deck, center, front deck. Talked about Boat Effects, graph mounts, all the other accessories were covered in the previous video. If you guys seen something I didn't touch on, let me know, and I'll cover that in another video. But like I said, man, I couldn't be happier with the boat. I'd be happier if this seat would go down. Okay, I couldn't be happier with the boat. If you guys are looking for a new boat and you're considering Crestliner, you'll definitely dig it. And like I said, some of the changes that I've talked about have been made in the newer models, so you'll definitely be happy with that. But that should wrap it up. So 2020 Crestliner XF 189 Part 2, we're out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to smash the thumbs up. Love you guys. We will see you guys on the next one.